Hey guys, this is Barry with FaO&x Outdoors and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something built for serious off-terrain electric vehicle. If you're looking for something that is for commuting, for trail riding, or just something with raw power, this thing might check all your boxes. This is called the Hiknight H6 Pro. Let's dive in. The first thing you want to do is not open the box like this. Try to keep it all together. When you do open it, try to find a buddy to lift the whole thing out, because if there's any issues whatsoever, they'll want you to put it back in the box. If you ever lose your box and you're gonna have to ship it out, UPS usually has the best prices for boxes. So right out the gate, I noticed that it's got a dual motor. It's got dual suspension. So make sure you have a knife and a pair of wire cutters, so you can go around and cut stuff like this off. But yeah, this thing is $13.99. It's got a 20 amp hour battery for long distance riding, big tire, 26 inch tire, full suspension. Why'd they do it that way? Weird. They have the foot peg in the spokes and plastic fenders, which I'm not against, because I found out that metal ones seem to scratch before you even get it. There is air in this tire, which is awesome. This is a 1500 watt motor, and it's got two of them, so it's a total of 3000 watts. This thing's crazy and extremely affordable for what you're getting. What I'm gonna do, all I'm gonna do is just snap all this stuff off, put it on the outside, so you don't have to watch that. Right out of the gate, it's extremely standard with the LCD screen, the missing tire, the handlebars you have to put on. So beautiful stitching in the seat though. I like that. Fix that, straighten it up. A couple of things I noticed though. There was some damage right here. That's really bad actually. Just like if you ran your finger across it, would cut it. I'm not 100% where it's scratched at like that. I have no idea. There's some damage on the top up here as well. That's what I've seen so far. Always take pictures of that type of stuff when you see that, because they'll want to see it. So we're going to put on the front wheel. Sometimes I put the handlebars on. Just depends on what is easy. I'll just see what's inside these boxes. You get two boxes and that. All right, so this is the LED light. It's got high beams. Wow, that's good. I always like those with the cages on front of it. It kind of gives it that dirt bike look. Out the gate, I'm seeing out the gate where they have saved a little bit of money, because the drivetrain is awesome, and battery, some literature. They give you something for your phone, a pump, lock your bike up, which is awesome. Here's the money stuff right here. All right, I can put that up for now. I'll take these off real quick. I like that they came out with these, because this is way nicer setup than a bunch of loose little, and you can use this when you're out on the trail. Keep this on your bike. If anything gets loose or whatever, you can take them off. All right, so I'm gonna get these screws off. It's simple, there's 4 screws. We'll put this handlebar on. All right, what you do is you'll stick this right in between the LCD screen, and want to make sure that your handlebars, your brake levers are facing towards you. The thing they did not put is the grooves that bite this on here. Usually on the handlebars they'll have like these little lines that bite. So that's a little bit of a pain, but no big deal. And do not tighten these down. Make sure that when you put these on, that you just lightly put them on, and then once you get all of them on, then you'll be able to tighten them down. Pretty straightforward so far. And if you do have any questions, or if I'm going too fast or not filmed enough on there, you put a comment in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer that question or whatever it is. So right now, all I'm gonna do is I'm going to tighten up these 4 screws, and I'm gonna do it in an X pattern. So the top, boom, 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 just like that, simple. All right, so now this is a little bit loose, so I'm just gonna tighten the pinch bolts that go in this way. Of course, it's not the same size. Some companies do. Line it up with your triple tree, your little neck right here. And you can adjust this when you get on the bike. Right now we're just trying to tighten all this stuff up. Make sure that you don't use a drill on this type of stuff. It's not made for any kind of torque. All right, so that's up here. And I did see like the shifter is pretty common for cheaper bikes. This little adjuster where you can go faster or slower, and all your information. Not the LCD screen, but your controller right here. Those are found on cheaper bikes too. This company really put their money in the frame. It's got dual suspension and it's got dual motors. What I'm looking for is how is this not a $2,000, $3,000 bike, and save some money. But they did do hydraulic brakes, which I'm a huge fan of. A giant fan of those. So time to put this wheel on. So once we put the wheel on, the kickstand will stay down and this won't fall over anymore. This right now, I'm having to hold it with both my feet, locking it down, making sure it doesn't go anywhere. So they're 26-inch rim. What's great about 26-inch rim is they knock down tools. No, they ride smooth. The bigger the bike, even on dirt bikes, the bigger the tire, front tire, the smoother the ride is. That's why people love the 21-inch rim on the Harleys and on dirt bikes and all the other stuff. It just makes it a smoother ride. So all I did was just take the screws off. All right, let's put this thing on. And I think this just comes off. Yeah. That's awesome too, whoever invented that. Make sure that the rotor is on the right hand side. In the rotor itself, make sure you pull that off, because it'll give you all kinds of trouble. So this ain't gonna be round. The axle, it actually has two flat sides, and your forks are gonna slide right over top of it. So if it's not flat, just roll it a little bit and it will flatten itself out, or you can roll the wheel as well. So it's kind of a pain, but I'll show you how to do it. All right, here we go. All right, it's not on yet, but I do have the rotor on. Let's see, come on. I wish there was a way. I wonder if you can take this and tighten, like turn it, you know what I mean? It's so freaking close. Come on, put it. That is freaking it, man. Get down. Got it. Okay, we are in. So I'm gonna just put the kickstand down real quick. So just turning the wheel until the grooves line up into that little. All right, so you've got this little knob. Can you see the knob? Let me see. It's got a little knob on it. That's gonna need to go inside and down. There's really only one way to put it, but the knob has to be facing down, because you know how it's like this? The notch will go inside there. This is definitely old school. Early on, when I started building bikes, this was the way they did it. All right, I'm gonna tighten these down. This isn't super hard. Just make sure you put the rotor side, put the brakes on first before you put on the axle. It's just such a pain. You do it otherwise, I don't even know how you do it any other way, so just make sure you put that on. All right, and then we've got, now to put on the battery stuff, the motor. I'll show you that. So it comes wire tied. There we go. Unravel that out of the tire because it won't run. And should be like arrow to arrow. Oh, there it is. So it's got a little white arrow right there. That's just, and there's a white arrow on the top. Just line those two together. Give it a little twist. Boom. Boom. Take a look. Just line those two arrows together. And everything is like that all on the bike. When you're even putting like these on, it's got a little arrow, just arrow to arrow. Let's put this on. you'll want to make sure that the fender flips up and the bar goes in the back. And run this through the front, just like this. Boom, and so there's that. Then I got another washer and a nut on the other side. And if you have your own tools, because this can be a pain. And night hike, I would put a lock washer on this. Not a lock washer, but a lock nut. Just my opinion. A lot of companies do that. I don't know of any company that doesn't do it but you. Just a heads up there. There we go. So you'll use this one here, and then this here, but you'll figure that out. It's an 8mm if you do have tools that I'm gonna straighten this out like that. That's done. Which is gonna be orange to orange and arrow to arrow. There we go. And then these are gonna go just like this. And this way is a pain. A lot of companies will come and push them on the outside so you can screw them. This one is on the inside. So now you're gonna have to do one screw at a time, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna take these screws off and screw this in. That's gonna take some time, so I'll be right back. Yeah, so whoever put this screw on, I actually had to take a Torx bit, and it actually stripped out the actual Allen on here. If you can see any of that. It actually stripped out this as well. It actually chewed it all up. And whoever put this on here, it's completely stripped out. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, when I was pulling this out, it actually has metal shavings coming out of it. So I don't know if this will go back in without doing any kind of fixing on it. So yeah, I'm gonna put these on, but don't do this. That's absolutely, whoever did it, stripped it out. The top ones did the same thing, but all your screws have been stripped since I pulled them out. They're completely solid. They're pulling out metal. So yeah, don't do that anymore. Let me get these put back on. All right, so I'm gonna have to take this off because this one is stripping as well, and I can't even get the screw on. So I'm gonna take this off, and so what I'm gonna do is take this off and then put the light on. Just leave the light on. Take this off. I'll put this back on here. Okay. Boom. Take this out of the way. And again, I think that you need to do a lock washer on this. This is just, there's so much vibration on these e-bikes when they're riding on the roads and just different stuff like that. And I think you need to put a nut on that. Lock this down. There we go. Straighten that up. Boom. All right, so no fender. Put these on. Let's go ahead and put on the rear rack. All right, let's see. A lot of companies make these where you have to buy them extra. This comes with it. So it looks like it's gonna be these two screws on the top here, and then these little black screws on the back right here. Hopefully you can see that. So we're gonna take those off and put those on there. And it looks like there's a silver one on this side and a black one on this side. All right, let's put that on. So I have a new little problem. You remember when I told you that this was already kind of chewed up on the top? I made it kind of wiggled it in and actually unscrewed, did a great job. But now I can't get this screw off because it's all wedged inside here. So if that happens to you, do not reuse the same Allen wrench, even though you might feel like it's fitting in there. If it's all chewed up, this is gonna be almost impossible to get off. I'm gonna have to go get I got another Allen wrench. So just be aware of that. All right, so I got all the screws off. During shipping, whatever happened right here, it's just sat there and rubbed it back and forth. This is scratched up pretty bad on here. And I ran my finger across that and cut the crap out of it. So whatever was rubbing on that, I honestly do not know what was rubbing on that. Also, there are two different screws. You got big ones in the back and small ones in the front. So make sure that you separate those, or just know where that one's bigger than the other. And it looks like the holes And this might be, could be too small. I'm having to screw it into it, like, give you an idea. So this doesn't fit inside there. You have to kind of take it and twist it in. Does that, you see what I'm talking about right there? They don't actually slide in unless you get a drill, I guess, and open it up. They possibly did that when they cut the hole, and then when they powder coated or whatever, it sealed up the hole a little bit. But this is not going in easy. So, okay, let me work on this. Let me put this together. So this frame does not go on this bike. It does not fit on these screws. The holes don't line up at all. And honestly, the funny thing is, that is not abnormal. When I started putting bikes together 3-4 years ago now, they would buy these racks and they would give them the measurements or whatever. And this was not abnormal. I've got plenty of videos of this not fitting on the bike. This was probably from another manufacturer. And when I opened the box, I was wondering why they didn't put it on in the first place. Now I see why. This does not fit on this bike. You cannot make this fit. They don't, the screws don't even fit in the hole. So we are not putting this on. But it does at least have a rear fender. It does not have a front fender because the front fender is stripped out and it actually damaged the tool. So, all right, let me get these back on here. If you do purchase this or purchase one in the rear fender, but one of the rear rack, it's not gonna fit unless they fix these problems. And also, you know, you send it to an influencer that's got 250,000 subscribers that does this for a living. The problem with this is that they're also from China. So if you have problems, they're awake right now, they're asleep when you're awake. And then there's no overnighting stuff to you, you know what I mean? So it's not gonna be there quick. You know, you're putting this bike together and you're wanting to ride it and you can't. The other problem that I have right now is now I have nowhere to mount this because this rear rack does not fit on there. So what I might do is just cut this off. I don't know. I'm really disappointed in this company. But let me get the front pegs on. Let's wrap this video up. I'm already getting frustrated with this company because it's garbage. It's not that great of a bike. So let me get that on. Then we'll go look at the front and let's end the video. I'll be right back. So this here, I want to talk to Hiknight. You don't want to have the customer use this to tighten down things that are need to be tightened, that are probably security or safety things. You don't want them to use this to tighten the axle or your foot pegs. Typically they match each other in the first place, like it would be a 15 to 15, stuff like that. These both are very difficult to put in. I think they painted them after y'all tapped them, so it's just, you can see that it's just scratching the thread. So make sure you look through that, make sure you run a tap through this. I wouldn't continue doing it this way. All right, let's look at this up here. When I was wondering about saving money, a lot of this bike is very old school way of doing things back when I first started putting electric bikes up. This is inexpensive but effective. There's nothing wrong with it. It's throttle, plastic handles. This is very back 2000, 21 or whatever. This is just, the technology's gotten much better since then. But I see that they put their money on the wheels, the frame, and the battery. So right here, this is your control panel. So you push this and it should come on. I'm gonna hold it down. So just don't tap it, just hold it down. Very like it, old school. The plus button, pedal assist 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and that makes it go faster, faster, faster. I wonder, no, and you can tighten this up. A lot of the newer ones had a little plug to charge your phone. So this says light, but it's actually the light to this here, which is kind of cool because when you're riding and getting dark, this can be bright and bothersome with your eyes. Now on the side here, you do have your lights, you have turn signals that it doesn't indicate here or on the front. It's just on the back where the brakes are. And then it has a horn. It does have dual motors, so when you push this in, it's a single motor. It doesn't indicate it here at all, and you push it out, I think it's double motors. And you can definitely tell the difference. Let me bring this down. Oh, you do have your foot right here, so if you hold this down, it actually will walk you, so you don't have to hit any throttle. So if you're just walking beside it, hold this down and it will walk you up to, I think, 2 miles per hour. So yeah, let's talk about the bike. So there's a lot of good to this bike, and there's some things that the company needs to work on. Just really some PMs, the preventative maintenance, make sure that you're not cross-threading or really putting blue Loctite and tightening something down that your customer will not be able to get out, or it's just going to strip it. Those up there are stripped, down there are stripped. Rack right here does not fit the bike at all. It don't even fit it. It spreads out too far. And this is all old school stuff. They used to build the frame somewhere and then they built the rack somewhere else. They've gotten much better at this technology. I've been putting bikes together for 4 years now, and watch the evolution of these bikes get better and better, which is awesome that they learn from their mistakes. This company needs to learn from their mistakes, a few things. It's not a bad bike, $13.99. They just need to work on a few things. You're gonna have some customer issues and you're gonna have to fix them fast. And I'm just talking to the night hike, the customer, you could probably just go. But anyway, I don't necessarily approve this bike. They've got some things they need to work on. The customer service, when I say customer service, my experience building the bike was poor. And I put hundreds of these together, probably thousands. So if you would like one, I'll put the link in the description below. I do not approve this bike, but you might have a different experience. Anyway, I appreciate you watching, and thanks for watching, and I'll put the link in the description below if you're interested in one, and I'll see you next time. Appreciate y'all. Bye.